This video, we're going to just do a quick example of a change request process. As you look at the screen here, you're looking at the workflow designer. And so this is where you design workflows. There's actually a toolbox palette that can be brought onto the screen here. Just show you that real quick. But we're just going to be reviewing these activities, so we don't need that toolbox opened up. So as you look here at the comprehensive change published, this is our workflow process, and these are all the activities that have been dragged and dropped onto the canvas and connected together. So you can see here when a change request is submitted, what we're going to do is start. We will set the state of the change request to approval requested, and then whoever the submitter is, their manager will get an approval request, and the process will stop here. And then ultimately, as it gets approved, it'll go to the CAB, and then if they approve, it'll go down through here and start to create tasks. And so we'll walk through that just to provide context around how the workflow engine can be applied to a change request process. So let me switch my tab here. I'm going to go ahead and create a new change. So here's our form for creating a new change. And this type up here is actually important for this workflow because that workflow is related to comprehensive changes. So for now, really don't need to do much here. I mean, I could fill out all this information, but all we're trying to do is kick off a workflow so you can see how that starts when a change request is made. So I'm going to click on the request approval option up here. And now as I scroll down, there is a workflow option here under related links that's available. So the workflow is really the part of this process that, or the piece of the platform really that does all the work here. So if I click on Show Workflow, this shows us a runtime view of the workflow. We can see the activities that have executed in blue, and then the current activity. Of course, in this case is we're waiting on approval. So if I go back to my change request and we go to the Approvers tab, because I'm logged in as an admin, I can go ahead and just approve right from here. I don't need to log in as Fred in this example. So right click, click approve. And so now that that's happened, you can see we have all these other approvals now that have been requested. And if we switch to our workflow and refresh the workflow, you can see that once the first approval was done by the manager, now the CAB needs to approve. And so the CAB is made up of change approval board is made up of all these members here. You can see they're all listed and can approve. And the way we've got this one configured is if anybody approves, so I'll just approve real quick, then the other folks don't need to approve. So you can see no longer required. We'll switch to the workflow and refresh it. And now we've gone over to the we've set the status of the change to it's been approved. And now we're kicking off the tasks required. And this is kind of standard stuff. We're going to have a planning task, a build task, a test task, and then ultimately the change will be implemented. And so we'll just go through one of those real quick here. So you can see we have this change task tab, and this is the related data to the change. We have the planning task in a state of open. We'll go ahead and close that just so we can walk through and see what would happen from a workflow perspective. So if we come back down to the task list, you can see that planning task is closed complete. And now build task is open, and we'll refresh our workflow here, and you can see we've gone from plan to build. So that's I'll stop there, but from a how does workflow relate to a change, that's a quick example. The same pattern is applicable to incidents or problems or other records in the system, project records, etc. When a record is created or updated, you can kick off this type of a workflow. And so we'll wrap this up there. That's a simple example of a change request workflow.